are businesses and entrepreneurs helping Detroit neighborhoods? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the host of Small Talk with Mark S. Lee and a guest blogger for Crain's Detroit, Mark Lee. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to have you.
Talking today a little bit about the resurgence and all the good things that are happening in the city of Detroit, but that certainly makes headline news all the time. What we don't hear about is the portions of the city that perhaps are not being revitalized and coming along quite as quickly as you know, that midtown and that direct downtown area.
That's exactly right. So let me just start by saying I'm very pleased with what's happening in the city. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of revitalization that's happening. But specifically within areas such as downtown, midtown, Corktown, East Village, and other parts of Detroit. But that probably accounts for about 10 to 15 square miles of the entire city, which is 139 square miles.
Wow.
So we still have 120 square miles that we need to revitalize. And what I'm suggesting here is that we got to figure out how to take those efforts from downtown and midtown and let it fan itself out across the neighborhoods of Detroit.
Well, how do we do that? Because I think a lot of people just assume if we've got a vibrant downtown, that's just going to spread automatically.
Not automatically, because if you think about it, a lot of people are going to go downtown and they're going to spend their money at the sporting venues for Tigers and the Lions. They're going to go down to the Fox Theater. And a lot of those individuals are going into the city from the suburbs and heading back into the suburbs. So the challenge is going to be, how do you take those dollars being invested into the city, into downtown and midtown, and move them out into northwest Detroit and into southwest Detroit? How do you do that? A lot of that's going to be understanding what the residents are looking for. Focus on public safety. That's crucial. Number two is focusing on the educational system. We know what the issues are with the Detroit public school system, and I think that that continues to be a very high priority. Thirdly, though, is in the space of entrepreneurship, small business development. I really think that entrepreneurs can play a role in revitalizing Detroit's neighborhoods.
Well, who needs to take the lead? Is it going to be government fixing the schools, fixing the public safety, the lights, the water situation, that kind of thing? Is it going to be businesses sort of moving down and taking a chance? Or, frankly, families, young people, folks that are willing to sort of bet on the city and move downtown and help try to make things better?
Great question. I think it's going to be a combination of both. So the government, right now, we're focusing on getting the streetlights fixed. We're focusing on the roads. We're focusing on the basic services. That's called the infrastructure. So Mayor Duggan and his team are doing an excellent job of starting to address those issues. However, it's also going to take people who live in those neighborhoods to become involved. When I grew up in Detroit, we had block clubs. People got engaged in terms of different programs. We played baseball in the streets. We had parks and facilities that were open. Those are all shut down right now because of the revenue issues that we have in the city. So I think, to answer your question, we're going to have to get the neighborhoods engaged, the people who live there involved in revitalizing their own streets and neighborhoods and getting the kids active and keeping them busy.
We certainly have a few key entrepreneurs that are making a big difference in big places in the city, but you mentioned the roles of entrepreneurs as well. How do they get involved in the neighborhoods? Because they may not be opening up a restaurant or a car wash, you know, in every neighborhood.
Let me tell you something. Detroit has 32,000 minority-owned businesses. It's the fourth largest city in the country when it comes to minority-owned businesses. So to answer your question, a lot of those businesses are in the neighborhoods. They're not all downtown. So what we have to do is to get them engaged with the communities. Go to the block club meetings, right? Go to the faith-based organizations. Get out into the streets and talk to people and try to say, hey, we're open for business. We can hire you we can hire your individuals. We can hire your residents of the city, I should say, as part of our business. And I think by reaching back into the community is going to help the neighborhoods revitalize themselves.
Kind of a chicken and an egg situation, right? You need the businesses to say, we're going to hire you, but you need the people to live there to say, we're going to spend our money at your business.
Absolutely, and that's the challenge that we have. And I think that's the message that we need to get out to the neighborhoods. Start spending money in the neighborhoods that you live. If you're a business owner, continue to reach back and help others.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Lots of good things happening in the city. Hopefully, how many miles? 7.2 square miles is downtown and 139 square miles overall. A lot of work to do. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Mark Lee, the host of Small Talk with Mark S. Lee and a guest blogger for Crain's Detroit.